Hey, welcome. It's Lindsay Leimbach, and I'm going to talk about how to smile more and stress less. And today we're going to be talking about the art of science, the art of happiness, the art of sleep, and creativity. So we want to wait about one more minute as we are about to start. And I am so happy to show you something that I drew. Check this out. Painted. The art of creativity. This is where I'm going to tell you how I did this and how you can do this too. This is a watercolor of a flower that I have. I want to also wish everyone happy Tuesday. I know that usually we've been doing it on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, but this week we're doing it on Tuesday and Thursday. Welcome, Wendell. Okay, so let's really get into the science of sleep. I want us to understand how important sleep is. And this science study I'm going to talk about is about Tetris. Have you guys all remember Tetris back in the 80s, that video game where the blocks dropped? Well, a scientist out of Harvard did a study and he taught people to do Tetris. Now, some people knew Tetris and some people didn't know Tetris. And then what they did is they woke up the people in the middle of the night and they said, "What are you dreaming about?" And it turned out what they were dreaming about was Tetris. So in other words, if they were learning about Tetris during the day, then Tetris ended up going into their dreams at night. Now that is so important. So listen to this. Now I got a better pair of glasses this time. Last time I had like reading glasses and it was reflecting and everything. Okay. Over 60% of the study participants, including surprisingly those who suffered from amnesia, reported dreams of image of Tetris pieces falling and rotating and filtering together. Interestingly, half of the Tetris experts, so those video game experts like my son's video game experts, I have a whole nother story on that one, reported that Tetris was in their dreams, while 75% of the novices reported that that was in their dreams. Let's think about how important this is to us. In other words, whatever problem and whatever you're learning about and whatever you're focusing on, you actually start filtering and your brain starts to work on it in an unconscious way when you sleep. So, in other words, what are our problems that we might have today? Could be everything about the coronavirus, right? Unemployment, family members not seeing. And so if we're focusing on those issues before we go to sleep, your brain is going to keep working on them while you're sleeping. Well, if we know that our brain can't solve the problem of the coronavirus, so if you're putting worry and anxiety into your mind right before you go to sleep, I really want you to understand this. Your brain is going to work on that worry and anxiety. That can lead to a very unrestful sleep where you wake up and your heart's racing, really bizarre dreams, you know. Is anyone having really bizarre dreams right now? That's because what you're focused on before you went to sleep was worry and anxiety. So now let's take this the other way. Let's say, okay, now this is true, Lindsay. My brain is going to be working on these issues while I'm sleeping. How can I control that? Well, why don't you think about that there is something that you do want to solve, a problem you want to solve that you do have some control of, and you are not into a worried and anxious state. This is the key. You're in a curiosity state. You say to yourself, I don't know what the answer is, but I do believe I can be curious and I can think of other solutions. And if you can go to sleep with that on your mind, then ultimately you start going ahead and working on it, and you might have an aha moment in the morning. Does anyone out there ever have these aha moments, like you can't solve the problem at night, but in the morning you're like, wow, man, I know what to do. So I want to tell you how this really affected me. I went to bed and I was thinking about when I heard that we had for us the April 30th closing. Well, we had a vacation planned starting April 28th. And so, of course, I kind of always knew that we weren't going, but there was a slim chance that we might go. So I was staying optimistic and positive. And then when I heard that, I went, no chance. So I went to sleep feeling sorry for myself. Oh, shucks. And so what did I dream about? I dreamed about airplanes and I dreamed about missing flights. I dreamed about not getting things done. I had a really hard night's sleep because this is something that I was holding into myself, this worry, this anxiety, and feeling sorry for myself when I was going to sleep. And I was perpetuating that in really bizarre dreams. So I woke up the classic, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like wide awake and I can feel my heart racing. I can realize I just missed my airline. I'm like, where am I? What is going on? Why am I having these weird dreams? I don't normally have weird dreams. So I sat back and I didn't fight it in my sleep. I sat back when I woke up at 3 o'clock and I said, now listen, Linz, this is not your normal dreaming. And obviously your brain is wound up and upset about something and it's trying to work something out. So I took a breath and I said, why would I have these dreams? And when you're having these bizarre dreams, remember it's your unconscious mind speaking to your conscious mind. You're trying to work something out. You're the one dreaming. You're the one who has fed itself activating this scenario in which it's now playing itself out. You have control of it. I'm telling you, you do. And you can find wisdom. So it took me a while and be like, I don't know. And then I remembered, oh, you know what? It's because now I have to face the airlines and all the hotels. And I actually got the inexpensive airlines and the inexpensive hotels where the big broad, you never change, nothing can happen, you can never cancel, you're going to lose all your money that's printed in it. I did pick that. So I knew that. And so that was playing itself out. How can I do this? I got to get on this. I got to see what I can do. So I realized that's what it is. I just need to take some action in the morning tomorrow and work on this solution. And then I can take a breath. And once I realized what my unconscious mind was all wound up about, I was like, okay, I'm going to make a plan. Now I can't solve that problem at 3 o'clock in the morning. And maybe the problem can't be solved, but I knew that I would take action. And this is another huge part of dealing with the unknown and fear and so forth. You can think of ideas to do, but you want to be able to take action. As soon as you take action, your subconscious mind knows you're trying your best. It's inaction where you start having these dreams, because it knows you haven't done anything to try to solve your own problems. It's trying to empower you to move yourself along. I really want you to understand this, that when you're sleeping, you're trying to work out problems, but when you wake up, then you're meant to do something, not just think about it, to actually take action. So I said to myself at 3 o'clock in the morning, I got it, I understand. I'm sad that I'm going to lose the vacation. Of course, I'm more sad about many other things, but this was something that was bothering me personal. It's not right or wrong, it's just my issue, that it was causing me to have these weird dreams. I got that I need to now understand that I need to take action. So I said, all right, I'll call the airport. I analyzed it. I'll call the hotel first and see if I can rearrange it to a time, and then call the airport and see if I can put the time around the time the hotel would let me rearrange it, even though everyone said in the small print this could never happen. And then you know what I was able to do? I was able to go back to sleep. Not until I really understood that I was able to go back to sleep. Now I want you to know, because of this and because I was having these very fast-paced dreams, what was being released? I was having a fight, flight, freeze response in my dreams, which means that you were releasing adrenaline and cortisol while you're sleeping. And then when you wake up, what do you have? Adrenaline and cortisol running through your body. That's why it's so hard to go back to sleep, because you've activated that fight, flight response in your sleep, and then you're awake, and then you have all that physiological energy from the mental state. So I had to do my breathing to get myself back calm, to get my body to calm itself down, and take the breath in and hold it and then release. And I did the body scan that we talked about last Friday, where I breathed into my feet and relaxed them, then breathed into my legs and then relaxed them and went on up and calmed myself down, told myself I have a plan of action, so my mind was then more at rest and it wasn't trying to needle me to do something, and then I went back to sleep. And then yesterday was the day that I decided I'd take care of this. Boom, boom, boom. I took my actions. I called my airport. I called my hotel, and I called my airport. I got everything worked out. Crossed my fingers. September. We've changed it to September. But everyone was super, super awesome. And so I went and I bought this shirt on the internet. I wish it came out darker so you guys can see it, but every day I've been trying to have a new t-shirt to remind us to smile more, right? And then have less stress. And my t-shirt actually says, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. So that's what I was. When I was talking to the airlines, I spoke to the lady. Let me tell you, it took me 4 times to get through. I had to work on it for about 4 hours. I got disconnected and stuff. But when I finally got my lady, I said, where are you from? She said, Dallas, Texas. It wasn't her that disconnected me. If I was frustrated with her, that wouldn't help me. I was super kind, and I thanked her very much for helping me. And she was so positive. And she said to me on the line, thank you. And she was thanking me for being kind to her. She said, it's been a little rough. We've been getting all these phone calls from all over the world. People are trapped in countries, and they can't get out. And they're like leaning on her. You got to get me out of here. She goes, it's been very stressful. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, oh my gosh, those poor people. I was sending them blessings. Here, I'm just talking about changing my vacation. I said, well, thank you for everything you're doing. I really do appreciate it. And she said to me, thank you for letting me share what I've been doing. It means a lot that you're witnessing, that you're seeing that I'm trying my best. Wow. It was an incredible connection. And then she asked me how we were going in LA, and I was talking about Dallas because Texas hasn't gone to lockdown, but the neighborhoods that she lives in have. So we had a conversation. See, whoever you talk to, no matter what it is, especially if it's customer service people, let's be kind. They're just getting so much, people are so wound up and so upset, and they're calling them and trying to get help, and some people are angry. There's nothing to be angry about. This situation isn't happening to you. It's happening to everyone. And how you process it is your choice, how it goes through you. Through you. So let's remember that. So back to sleeping. So there is, I want you to know, quite a few. My dad told me about how Edison would go to sleep and hold marbles in his hand. And then when he got really tired, he would release the marbles. They would fall on the ground and they would wake him up. And he would come up with great solutions. Back to learning how to understand our own wisdom from our own sleep. So I looked into that to see how true it is by holding the marbles. Well, it turned out they weren't marbles. They were actually, he held ball bearings. But he did do this. And you know who others did this? Took these power naps and that they held things in their hands. Albert Einstein. And when they ended up letting them go, and then it would wake them up. Power naps gives us, not only Albert, let me see, Aristotle did this. Dali, the painter, did this. So all these incredible creative people knew that they needed to take some rest and allow their brain to settle down and not think too hard about stuff. Allow it to filter out what is important and what is not important, and then come to the creative solution. So on that note, with what is going on right now, power naps. I'm recommending everybody to take power naps. If you start getting overwhelmed, or you know someone who's overwhelmed, what's happening is you go in that fight-flight response, then you are not activating your higher level of thinking. You're really from your lower level, that caveman reaction. And that is not going to serve us when we're at our staycations, when we are stuck at home, whatever you want to call it. What we need to do is come up with creative solutions. So I want you to know that I meditate every day. Now I meditate 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes a day. It matters whatever day it is. But I have learned to let go of that anxious mind, to using that as the power to drive me, and to really embrace that calm mind, that taking a nap, resting my brain will actually help me come up with more creative solutions. Now, when I was able to do this, I have never taken a painting class in my whole life. And about 3 years ago, I was with my aunt, Susan, who's a fabulous artist, and she said, come to a watercolor class with me. And I thought to myself, I don't do watercolors. I don't paint. I've never had a class. She said, come, my friend, come. She's so sweet. And she said, just try it. Well, once I knew that I had nothing to fear, and I could just relax and enjoy. And no matter what happens, as long as I tried, I was learning and growing. This is so important. This is the first thing that I painted in my entire life with her in Florida. Isn't that cool? I honestly thought that I was possessed by Martians. I was like, I cannot believe I just painted that. That is so cool. So then I realized that I had this creative side, and we all do. But when we're in chronic stress, that shuts down. But when you learn how to activate that calm mind, you can activate it more, and you come up with great solutions. So now I went back to Florida and last year, and I painted again, and this is the last time I painted, was over a year ago. I painted this with Aunt Susan. Is that cool? I love that rooster. So I have decided with this staycation that I am going to take naps, very important, and I'm also going to paint. I'm going to paint. We want to make sure that what we're putting in our mind, like I said in the beginning of this video, what you're putting in your mind before you go to sleep is something you want to work on, but not anxiety and worry. See, whatever you focus on, I want you all to understand, you're activating your RAS system. Where did I put that? Okay, which is your reticular activating system, RAS. And your RAS system is like your radar system. And whatever you say is a problem, your RAS system is the filter saying, look at it, look at it, look at it. That's what's most important to you. Whatever you think is most important to you. And if you and I and everyone sits around and says the most important thing is our fear, our anxiety and worry, our brain is going to look right at that fear, anxiety and worry. And if we keep doing that, then we're going to sleep with that anxiety and worry, and we're going to have those crazy dreams I was talking about. But we can program our RAS system by realizing that when we go to anxiety and worry, we take a breath and we choose to see something with kindness instead. We choose to see something in which we have the power over, instead of the power being taken away from us that we have the power over. So we have the power over this moment, one breath at a time. This is so powerful. So I want to thank you so much. Oh, I didn't tell you the book I want you guys to look into today. Today's book is, let me see if we got, there we go. The How of Happiness, a new approach to getting the life you want. This is a wonderful read. It's filled with science, scientific studies on how to program your brain to be more happy and to understand what is the true happiness. Because if you seek happiness, then you're just on the rat race. But if you just become happiness, your heart opens up. So take your power naps. I'll see you guys next Thursday at 11 o'clock here. Next week, we're going to switch to Wonderful Wednesdays. I'm going to just meet once a week on Wednesdays. But this Thursday, I'm going to talk some more about all these wonderful ideas. Remember, when in doubt, be kind and have a wonderful day. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.